May the 9th, 1995, the survivor is Mary Kay. Mark wrote an interview, Los Angeles, California, USA. It will be in English.
Okay, Mark.
Rolling?
Yeah.
Today is May, what day is today? Today is May 9th. My name is Mark Rothman. I'm here with Mary Kay. We are in Los Angeles and we're speaking English. This interview is being conducted for the Shoah Foundation.
Perfect. Anytime.
Okay. Good morning, and
Good morning.
thank you for speaking with us. Could you begin by introducing yourself? Tell us your name and spell it.
My name is Mary Kay. My maiden name is Pavlovich. Pawlowicz.
Okay. Let me ask you to talk to me so that we make eye
Yeah.
contact. Was Barry your given name at birth?
Mania. Shall I spell it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mania.
And can you tell me a little bit about the family that you were born into?
My family were very nice people, very polite. I'm brought up to respect people, and we didn't have any fighting in the house. We went to school. When I grew up, when I was 9 years old, I belonged to an organization which I belonged to theater group, and I played on stage in Yiddish theater. I belonged to sport club, but I had a diploma from sport, and I was very happy growing up girl.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes. I had 2 brothers and 1 sister.
What were their names and how much older or younger were they?
My brother was older about 2 years from me, Herschel. My sister was the youngest. My middle brother is Max. He is a year and a half younger than me. And my sister, Bronya, she is in Israel, and she's the youngest.
How much younger?
About 2 years, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
And you mentioned that you were in the Yiddish theater. Let's go back a little bit. What language were you speaking at home? Were you speaking Yiddish?
Yiddish, only Yiddish.
Did you know any Polish?
Of course, I went to school.
What kind of school was it?
Public school, yeah. And then when I was about 12, 13, I started working. In Poland, they teach you have to work for nothing a year and a half or 2 years till you could make something. And then when in 1939 the war broke out, so I was sent away from my hometown to ghetto.
Okay, well, we're already getting sort of ahead. Let's talk a little bit more about what your life was like in Poland before the war.
Oh,
What did
Poland
your parents do?
My father used to rent gardens and pick the fruit gardens, and sell it. My mother didn't work. I learned as a seamstress, and I was a very happy girl. Sometimes I think about it, and I like in my dream, I would like to go back, not to Poland, or to my memories, and live through at least one day and have with my friends the good times what I used to have. I was a very happy girl, always satisfied, people treat me nice. It's very hard to explain because my head is too small to think about everything how I was. I was a fire. And we enjoyed it so good, the young life, that I can't ask anymore.
Is there a particular day that comes to mind that you want to go back to?
No, not a particular day. I was always happy in going and coming in theater. Everybody used to like me. When we went, we gave a play, let's say, and then we took the play in a smaller city. In a Saturday we played, in the evening we gave the play, and of course the regisseur, how is this? Wait a minute. The director had to take permission from my father. That's, they're going to take care of me, they're going to watch over me, and I can go. That isn't like in America here today. See, kids say they have their own life, or it isn't good, they don't grow up good people. We had to depend everything, what the father, the mother said, everything was okay. And we didn't grow up bad people. So when we went with the play, they had to take the permission, and we went. I remember one instant when I was sitting, it was still time to the play, and the director went to me. He wanted to give me a kiss on my cheek. So he gave me such a kiss, such a bite, that I had 5 blisters on my cheek from his teeth. That's true, I'm telling you. I'm still yearning for those times. I'm not young. I'm going to be 75. Or I can be just like 1920. Whatever. I'm young in my mind. I don't give in so fast to get old. Sometimes you don't remember a little, but it comes back.
Let's talk about how you got involved in theater. You said you were 9.
Yeah.
You were born in 1920. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did it start?
I had an aunt. I looked like her. I sound like her. And when she played, she was a very, very good actress. She's still alive. She's about 85, 87 in Israel. And when she left in 1929, her name was Isabella. So somehow I got involved in little plays, and they saw I have talent. So I played in a few plays, very good ones. When she left, the upwriting in the paper, like it was all the time Bella, now they said on me Bella number 2. So that's the way I got drawn in the theater. I told you when I came here to Los Angeles, I read in the paper that you can register to belong to a theater group or whatever, and Wilshire it was. I don't remember where. And I said, well, I know I have talent. I'll go in. So I went in, and it took too long. I waited. And then I was thinking, I said, oh my, no. Who's going to take care of my kids? So I walked out. And I'm very sorry I walked out. Because even today, if I would have a chance, I could still play.
Do you remember the first time you went on to stage? Did you have stage fright? What did you think when you saw all the people?
No, the director told us, don't look at the people. Don't look down. You think what you have to do. Because if you're going to start looking at the people, you see friends or people what you know, and you'll get a little backwards, you know. So we were taught this way, yeah.
Do you remember any of the roles you played? Did you have a favorite role?
My first role was in a play I was a hungry girl, and they made me up that I was really looking like a hungry girl, like I wouldn't eat, never. It used to call Arbeitslos, you know, that is when you don't have any work. What do you...
Unemployed?
Unemployed. Yeah, my parents were unemployed because I was a young girl, and that meant that I was always hungry. We didn't have it. So my makeup was terrible. I looked terrible. And then I used to sing on stage, couplets. You know what means couplets?
No.
I don't know how to express in English. A song, you know, with a little mimic, with a little moving. And so I used to like it. I was always happy, yeah. I'm still dreaming about those days.
Now, you would go out of town you would tour with the productions?
Not a tour. Somewhere not far to go, in a smaller city, they used to go for a weekend. And Saturday night, we gave a play there. And then after the play was usually a dance till in the morning. And then in the morning, we came home.
And you'd stay up all night?
Of course.
At 9 years old?
Well, no, but that time when we went, I was a little older, or at home, it was about 9, 10 when I started, you know. Or very often we went over the weekend, and we gave the play and then went home. That's why the director has to take permission from my parents, see?
Were there other children, actors that you would be able to hang around with?
Yeah, there were, or not always we needed many, you know. What else? I wanted to say something, I forgot. I'll never forget my younger years. Never, till they're going to put me in grave. Never.
You mentioned that the town you went to was bigger than some of the ones that you grew up in, was bigger than the ones you would go to at the theater.
Yeah.
How big was your town? Tell me what was that city like? And what was it called?
Wielun. And Wenun. It wasn't a big city, or it was very cultural. Organizations and sports, and we always had what to do. We never had to sit at home. When we just walked out from the house, we always met with friends. And that makes a very good feeling if you're always surrounded between people. You don't have to go and look. See?
Was it a very Jewish city?
Yeah, it was a lot of Jews, yeah.
Would you say half Jewish or more?
Maybe half, yeah. I remember we played, it was Pesach, the last day of Pesach in the evening. It was out already, Pesach, and we gave a play. So, of course, we could eat already bread in the evening. So my parents came under the stage there and brought me a sandwich of bread with chicken fat, you know, at home. In Europe, we used to eat chicken fat. And that was tasting so good. You know, such a things come in my mind, but you can't remember everything. There are certain things it does cling to you. Even today, when I go to New York, I have a friend there, we grow up together. I must not sleep somewhere else. I have to sleep with them. We were so close. It isn't like kids today. I don't agree when I watch on television how young kids talk to their parents. I am shocked.
Well, it's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world. Or respect, it shouldn't be any difference.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it is. Let's go back and tell me a little bit about how was your family Jewish? Were they Orthodox?
No, they weren't Orthodox. My father smoked cigarettes, and Saturday he didn't smoke, so Sunday he had a whole day a headache. I remember he went to temple. He used to carry the tallis, so, you know, and his hands on the back, and I used to stick his hand in, and so we walked to the temple.
Wait, why would he put his hands that way?
Well, that's, a man walks sometimes like that, you know. And no, we weren't too religious. Or my father used to say, if you want to eat something that I don't agree, you can eat wherever you want or not bring to the house. When you eat, I don't see it, I don't know, or not to the house. And we respected that.
So your family kept kosher at home?
Yeah, yeah. I remember for Passover, you know, we couldn't afford double dishes like here. So every day in the yard came a man with such, I remember like today, with such a big pot, very big, and he boiled the water, and we took out the dishes, and he let it cook through, you know. I remember that's the flatware. We took on a string and tied around each thing separate. And we throw it. Do you remember?
Peter remembers?
Peter?
The cameraman?
I don't know. I'm asking him. He doesn't remember, he said. Yeah, well, every city maybe was different. I don't know.
Because Peter grew up in Poland.
Yeah, he's told me Poland. So maybe in every city is different. So
you'd tie the string around the flatware so you could get it out of the pot?
Yeah,
I
every
see.
spoon, every knife was separate. Couldn't be together.
Right.
So I remember those things. One thing I tell you, I'm not lonesome after Poland. That's why when I hear somebody talk Polish, it bugs me. It bothers me. I don't want to go back to Poland to look. Never.
Were the Poles, what kind of relationships did you have with the Poles as you grew up?
Well, we had a good relationship, or all around. You know, the situation was brought out. We lived. I was lucky. We lived in a house where our door faced the other door, and he was police commandant, you know, the main from the police. A door further was the inspector from the whole schools, from public schools. Upstairs lived an older lady. She used to have those fields, you know, I don't know how to call it in English.
What would you do with the fields?
Well, that was a big thing, you know. That's the way it was there. She didn't do nothing with it.
She just owned them?
She owned them, yeah. Or that means she was high class, you know. I remember that every day we went to school. The kids from the school inspector, they used to go with a special coach.
Mm-hmm.
What they took the kids to school every morning, and we had to go with him because we were in good relations. Again, from the police, how you call it here, like police inspector or
Detective?
no.
Or
He
just
was the hope from the all police.
sergeant? Or
What the
chief of police?
Chief of police. That's right. When it came Christmas time, we kids, from my house, we had to go in, but that time, it wasn't radios what they played. We used to have earphones, and they had to put it on as earphones, and we heard the whole ceremony for Christmas, the music, and we sit there for a whole day, for a whole evening, and we enjoyed it. Now, we got along with those people nice, or altogether, what they did in Poland, this wasn't pleasant. This I didn't agree. That's why I didn't want to talk Polish. I forgot already to talk. I went to school, I should know, or I don't use it, so you don't talk about it.
What was it that the Poles did?
Well, what didn't they do? We were Jewish. They chased us. They did everything. We Jews, they didn't like it. Even in this country. Does everybody likes Jews? Maybe because they're smarter. Maybe because they use their brains.
Is that why Jews aren't liked?
Maybe. I don't know. My idea is this, because of that, because Jews somehow they can manage. It's very hard life sometimes, or you can manage. Let's say when I came here to this country, I came with no penny, nothing. I didn't run to the government. Nobody gave me. Somehow I existed.
Well, we'll come to that when we talk about how you
Yeah.
arrived here in the United States. Did you experience anti-Semitism growing up in Poland?
Of course. Sure. Let's say when it came, Easter, we couldn't walk in the street. They used to throw stones. They used to it split with water all over us. We were afraid, of course. And there where it started, the whole thing.
Why Easter?
I don't know. Maybe because of Jesus. You know. You see, he's shaking.
Well, we can't see
his
what Peter's
head.
doing. What does it mean?
No, I'm just saying. So, You know, there was a lot of things what they hate the Jews. It's
Would
all
it be
over.
because Easter is about the crucifixion?
I guess so. Something is involved.
And were they still, I'm guessing here, but were they still blaming Jews for the crucifixion?
Of course. They blame the Jews for everything.
Like what other things?
Everything, what's in their life, and they would like to have, we shouldn't exist. That's what they wanted. And that takes around everything. So, in Poland, it wasn't too good for everybody. It's just the same like here. Some people, they go to work, and Friday they pick up the pay. They don't go home straight to the kids or wife. They stop in the beer parlor. They come home empty and drunk.
And you
Jewish
saw-
people, you don't find many, not in Poland and not in here.
You saw the same thing happening, though, among the Poles?
Of course. Sure. They were always drunk.
Now, when did life start to change for you?
It's never changed.
Did you notice anti-Semitism increasing at all as you got older? Or as it got closer to World War II?
You know, it's very hard to remember those things. I know that all the time we were discriminated. So it's you can't pinpoint, you know. So we had a hard life. How hard it is, I was always happy. I'm such a type, but that's the way, that's my nature.
Now, a moment ago you described the neighbors that you had.
Yeah.
Did you live in homes or were they apartments?
Apartments. Sure. That was apartments.
Did you have a big apartment?
Oh, no. One room and a kitchen.
For 2 parents and 3 children?
Yeah. Yeah. We were 4 children.
4 children.
Yeah, I have 3.
I'm
Or at
sorry.
home, we had 4. 2 boys, 2 girls.
So where did you all sleep?
We slept. It's a shame to say it.
Why?
Because people wouldn't believe it. You could sleep in one bed with your parents. In the other side where they have their feet, you slept. Or if not, you had a bed, a folding bed. You know, somehow you slept.
And would you sleep in the same bed with your sisters and
Parents?
brothers or with your parents?
Yes, yes.
What about when you got older and bigger and they got older and bigger, your brothers?
No, when we got older and bigger, the war broke out, and you know it wasn't. So we slept on the floor. Sure. You can't remember everything.
Well, why don't we stop here? And this is a time to change tapes. I think when we stopped the last tape, we were talking about your life in Poland.
Yeah.
And you were describing your apartment and how you slept 4 children
Sure.
together.
Sure.
Why don't we turn now to talking about as you got older, did you notice things changing as war seemed more likely?
I don't think that's we were thinking. I was too busy. I don't think so. We noticed that much that's going to come a war. I belong to an organization. Maybe we talked about it. I don't remember exactly.
What was the name of the organization?
Polizien. Left Polizien. A little bit to the left, you know.
It was a Jewish organization?
Of course.
Political? Like Shomer HaTzair, but,
Yeah, close to Shomer HaTzair.
but left of that.
Yeah. It's very hard to remember everything, you know. The way we spend our time, how happy we were, or whatever. I remember even at home, I had to help mother cleaning the house. How young I was taught to help cleaning. And when my older brother came, it was wooden floors, you know. And when my brother came in and I was lying on the floor washing the floor, he was stepping on the washed floor. So I took the rag and gave him over his legs, you know, his feet. And then my mother used to say, you know, sometimes you can't remember what you ate yesterday, or certain things you do remember. She used to say, Mary, why do you covering up the floor so much? It won't catch a cold. You know, schmattes. We put out rags. It should dry up good and be clean. So certain things you remember.
Now, did you, as you became a teenager, do teenage kind of things? Were there boys that you flirted with?
Oh, yes. I had one boy there. I died for him. I can't explain how I felt to him, or I never gave in. I was so respectful in me that when we were somewhere and I saw him, if he didn't come to me first, I didn't move. I had to wait till he comes to me and talks. And if we went out somewhere, let's say to the park, a whole bunch of us, we were together, you know. Or somehow we came that we both were together. I never gave in that I love him, that I'm dying for his step. You know, maybe sometimes, today I think maybe it's not so good to be that independent the way I was.
Did he ever find out how you felt?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Or he felt to me nice, you know, that maybe he felt. Or he wasn't a big talker, he was a nice boy. And so nobody could touch me. Nobody. I've gone through a war of hell and everything. And in Poland, nobody had a nerve to touch me.
Well, what happened? How did you know that the war started?
I was helping one Friday my father picking fruit in a garden, what he rented. I told you, he rented gardens, he picked the fruit, he sold it. So I helped him on Friday morning.
Would he have other workers helping as well?
No, we were the kids, we helped, and sometimes maybe, I don't remember that. Maybe he had somebody helping. While we were in the garden, we heard the airplanes flying. And then when it started, because Poland was the first one, and then what we knew, that's that, it started.
Did you keep picking fruit? Did you go anywhere?
No, we ran home. Sure. It was in the streets, people were running. You know, nobody knew so special. Or it is the war or not. Or we were afraid. Sure.
And then what happened?
And then we heard the shooting and everything. And that's all. And after a short time, They made a ghetto in our city, and they put us, we have to leave everything and go in other houses, live with people. And they were a start, the whole thing.
Did this happen immediately with the first Germans?
Of course, with the first Germans, sure. And then we had the ghetto till about, we went to the ghetto 39, and we were about till 40, 1940. I worked in a shop, what we were sewing uniforms for the Germans. I remember my machine, when I sewed, it was the loudest machine in the room. It made such a noise. When the Germans used to come in and inspect, to walk through, we start, all of us, sewing fast. And my machine was the loudest. You could hear it. I let it go so much that they could get deaf. Such silly things you remember. And we had to move from our apartment to the ghetto, somewhere in a house to apartment. We stayed there, and then...
Did you have a smaller space in the house that you had to move into in the ghetto?
Oh yeah, we had one room.
So you went from the kitchen in one room to just one room?
Yeah, yeah, by people. We had to rent it by other people, a room where we could stay, So, and then in 1942, they sent us to, wait a minute, they sent us to Lodge. We stayed there till 44.
And did you work in a seamstress
Yes,
factory?
in a factory, yeah.
In Lodge also?
Yeah. And in 1940, they sent us to Bergen-Belsen.
1944, would that be? Because you said
Yeah,
you were,
44, yeah.
Okay. Now, before we move on to the camps,
Yeah.
let me ask you some questions about the ghetto. One hears particularly about the Warsaw Ghetto, for example, about the Yiddish theater. Were you involved in anything like that in either of the ghettos that you were in?
No.
Was there any kind of life, cultural
No.
life in the ghettos?
No, we were afraid. No, we couldn't do anything. No.
What would
I was in 1939, I was in Warsaw. Before the war, short before the war, I was sent as a delegate from my organization to Warsaw. After that, it was another city, Kalisz. I was sent from my organization as a delegate. And
you would be sent as a delegate to what? Would conventions? Or?
From the organizations. Yeah.
Would it be other organizations, or would it just be?
No, this organization.
So all the people from the small towns would send someone
Yeah,
to the
from
big
every
town
city. Yeah, from every city.
Oh, you were lucky to be chosen.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
I was only once in Warsaw at that time. It was short before the war. And I remember one street, or a couple streets, It's, no, I was very active. I was never ashamed. I had to say it what I understood. And we weren't rich, but I had a very happy life.
Now, you were saying in the ghetto, though, that there was a feeling of fear.
Yeah, in ghetto. In ghetto was, again, you see, we lived in a big, like a circle, around and around houses. How do you call that?
I'm not sure. Around a courtyard?
Like a courtyard,
Mhm.
yeah. And there were a lot of kids my age, and there were a couple of very poor. So I gave a proposition to those all the kids in my age.
Is this in the ghetto?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that we're gonna make a theater. And we made up a play. We made up a play that we are with the parents, and how the Germans come and take away the parents or the children, and we collect a few dollars that we could help those few people what they had very little, you know. We made up a play, that's it.
For charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you put it on at night?
During the day.
Weren't people working during the day?
In ghetto?
Yeah, because you
Not
said
everybody.
you worked. Oh,
Not
okay.
everybody. No.
Now, how did you work it so that you didn't have to go to the factory?
Well, certain days I didn't work. Then when I didn't work, or Sunday, you know, we made the play. I don't remember. I can't remember everything, you
Mhm.
know. So, our it was very hard, and what else can I tell you from ghetto?
What would happen at night in the ghetto?
At night,
Yeah.
we sat in the house. We didn't go out. We could go in ghetto, or still we didn't go. We were afraid.
Where was there to go?
In this place where we were around, that's all.
Oh, okay.
To neighbors or what. You know, you couldn't go in the city. Of course not. You were afraid to go in the city. They didn't let you out.
Did they put a fence around the ghetto?
Not a fence. There were certain districts where they were watched, you know. And we couldn't get out from ghetto. No.
Were you given any identifying clothes, like a Star of David or an armband?
Yeah, Star of David.
At
Sure. Yeah.
When before you were in the ghetto, were you given that, or at what point?
I guess in the ghetto, when we went to the ghetto, I can't remember. No, maybe before. Because if we went shopping or whatever, that we should be recognized we are Jewish. Because many times the Germans were chasing the people, the Jewish people in the streets, you know. So they wanted to recognize who was Jewish.
Why were the Germans chasing the Jews in the streets at that time?
They wanted to hit him.
Did you see
There
this
is
happen?
no- Of course. Sure.
What did you see?
What did they see it? With the sticks? Sure. They did. You cannot remember everything, every bit, you know. And like now, I'm talking to you. Maybe I forgot something. And an hour later, I can remind myself, oh, that was that way, you know.
Oh, but you're remembering a lot of very
Oh,
interesting
yes,
information.
yes, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how did you move from one ghetto to the other? Did you get any warning? Did it just happen? Was there a sign
They put us
posted?
on the wagons to go.
Did they post a sign or anything?
No, they came to the houses and told everybody, you know.
Door to door?
Yeah, I guess so, door to door. Or maybe there was somebody, I don't remember. Maybe there was somebody he let us know. I cannot remember. I was a young girl then, you know. And you can't, like I said, you can't remember everything.
So they put you on wagons. Were they cattle cars or were they regular train cars? Do you remember the trip at all? Was it very long?
I guess it was on the train, yeah, because, let's say, from larger ghetto, they took us out in the streets. We had to stay in a line, and they sorted out. You go here, you go there. You go here, you go there. So that time, they took away my mother. And we knew what she goes in the oven. Yes. My father was still a healthy man, tall, handsome, and they took him in a different section already. And we young, we were in a different section because they want us to work. So they took us in different places. It's the same thing. They took us out in a field. This I remember. We had that time kind of documents. I don't remember what kind of documents we had. And my sister was taken away to a camp, to a working camp, way, way before the first one, because she didn't work. She was the youngest one. So they took her away in another city. So then when we bought her out, how did we buy her out? We had a letter from a doctor that she is, no, first she comes for a vacation for a couple days. So we took her to a doctor, and the doctor gave us a letter that she is sick. She cannot go. And there, in the camp, there was a man for money. He took her off the list. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't exist anymore in camp.
This was at Lodge?
Yeah. She doesn't exist anymore in camp. So she could stay home and nobody bothered her. When they took us out from Lodge, I had to document something that I can work. And she didn't have it because she was away. She just came, you know. So they took us out in a field, and from both sides were Germans standing with a, how you call it? Let's say with a stick,
Right.
okay? And we were in the line, we made a line, and we had to raise it. The documents, that's those who has documents go this side, without documents go another side. So I said, oh my God, they're going to take my sister away. She was the youngest. So I had this document in an envelope.
Excuse me.
You want a water?
Let me stop for a second.
You want a candy? So we had documents, like I said, and I said, what can I do? They're going to take my sister away. She hasn't got anything to hold it up. So it's down to me. I took out my document and I gave her the envelope. I said, hold it up, the envelope. If they come and notice something, you say, oh my God, I forgot. I lost it. Maybe they believe you. And they didn't check her. And she went through together with me. And we were together everywhere till the end. And from there, they sent us to Bergen-Belsen.
Now, when you first arrived in Lodge, they separated you from your mother. How did you know where she was going to go?
I didn't know. Nobody knew. after that, we knew it, that she went in the oven. Yeah.
Do you know where they sent her?
No,
Did you find out afterwards?
no. There's nobody to tell me.
Did you have a moment to say goodbye to her?
No. Who was thinking about that? We thought we were going to get together. Like they said, we went in the wagon. They said, take suitcases, take everything with, because there you're going to work, you're going to have an apartment and everything. So everybody took it. Suitcases, everything. We didn't know where we're going. So after that, they took us to Bergen-Belsen. We opened the camp there. We were the first one.
Was there anything there when you arrived?
It's just those cells on the field, you know. On the floor was straw, and if it was raining, the rain went under, the straw got wet, and we got cold. From that time on, I suffered on my throat, and I cough for so many years. I use medicines. Wherever I go, I have my bottle medicine with me. Like I drunk, sometimes I think if people notice that I give a sip from the bottle, they can think, I don't know, what is she doing? You know. So I was, at that time I had pneumonia catched, and my sensitive place became my throat. So it's like a tickling cough.
Mm-hmm.
I was after that, after the war, I went to Heidelberg to a professor. He couldn't do nothing for me. That's the sensitive place, and that's it. So
Now, was the trip from Lodz to Bergen-Belsen very long?
I don't remember how long.
Do you remember how you traveled?
I guess with the train. I don't remember. I really don't. I can't remember, no. So
Now, where were your brothers?
my younger brother, my older brother was in the army. So I didn't know where he is, in the Polish army.
This would be Herschel?
Yeah. Max was in Zbąszyń in Poland in a working camp, too. They took him away before me. So we had no communication. And my father was working, I forgot where it calls there, the place. It's not far from Pabianice. There was a working place, and they sent him to work there. After a while, he came back. We went together to Auschwitz.
Your father came back from where he was working
Yeah.
to Bergen-Belsen?
No. Not Bergen-Belsen. He came to the Lodz ghetto. And then he was sent, I can't remember, would you believe it? Somehow we were together in Auschwitz.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to bring it out is we opened the camp in Bergen-Belsen. We were the first.
Mm-hmm.
When I got pneumonia, I couldn't talk. So the girls from the other side of the camp, they start screaming, "Mary, sing something! Sing something!" I said, I can't. I'm hoarse. I can't. Anyways, we were there about 6 weeks. We were sent with the trains to Auschwitz. In Auschwitz, I don't know how I got together with my father. We were standing in the line in Auschwitz with my father. He stand next to me, and as I turned to the other side and talked to somebody, When I turned back to him, he wasn't there anymore. They took him away. I didn't see, I didn't hear, nothing, and I didn't see him since. So, in Auschwitz, we were there. I don't remember how long. I guess from 40 to 42. 42, they send us away to a working camp, Salzwedel. This is in Germany. They send us.
Were you in Auschwitz long enough to get a number?
Yeah, I had a number. My number was 8721, I guess.
Were you tattooed?
I don't.
Oh.
No, I don't have it. They made it too late, the numbers. And the Germans, the Americans supposed to come on. The talk that we're going to have, those who hasn't got on the hands, on the arms, we're going to have on the forehead. So of course we cried, we were pretty scared. Or they didn't make it because the American came too early for them. They didn't have enough time. So we went to Salzwedel to work in an ammunition factory. I remember like today, they chose me to check the bullets. Which kind of bullets are good and which kind not, so I have to throw them out. So they were sitting in lines, and they were working on the bullets. And I checked so, and sometimes I said to the girls, close your eyes and take a nap, I'll cover you. And so I covered her with my body, and she closed her eyes for a few seconds. And because we worked night shift, you know, and the nicest looking girl looked old and wrinkled from not sleeping nights, not eating. So it was tough. So we tried to help each other how much we could. Now, in Salzwedel, after a while, I heard that the girls heard that they're going to make a shoemakerei for the girls to fix shoes for the girls from camp. So I said, I have to get out from the factory, not to work at night. So I applied. I said, I can fix shoes. I never knew how to fix shoes. I went in and I fixed shoes. And I told to the girls, bring me a belt for a motor in the factory or whatever. I can fix your shoes. So I took one chair and I took another chair and covered up, you know, with the legs up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hammered. And I fixed for the girls' shoes. So, at least we had nights to sleep. After a while, I went to the Hauptsturmführer, you know, it's a German officer, and I said, look, I have a sister here. I want to be together with her. Whatever it's going to be, I want to be together with her. And then he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm fixing shoes. Where did you learn? So I said, ghetto. I don't know how it came to my mind. I cannot explain. I said, in ghetto. So he believed me. So, and then he gave me permission that my sister should be together with me. And we were together.
Why don't we stop right here and change to after you brought your sister with you, did she work with you in the shoe
Yeah.
factory?
Yeah, she did whatever she could. We were together. That's all that count. At least we worked days, not nights. That's what I wanted. So we noticed that about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the little wagons go to the kitchen. They take the little wagons in the kitchen with fruit, with vegetables, potatoes. So I said, that's a good thing to catch something. When I heard the sound from the wagons, I woke up, I got dressed, and I went out. I looked around, I see I can run to the wagons, grab a carrot or a potato. I took it and ran back in the block. When I had a little already, then I woke up the other girls. I said, you can go now, I'm finished. So they went to grab it. Well, once happened, that's a girl, she's here in Los Angeles. It was snow, she lost a shoe in the snow. And the Germans looked for the girl with one shoe. Can you imagine if they would find her? They would kill her right in place, because Germans don't like to be fooled and steal from them,
She lost a shoe running to the wagon
Yes.
for food.
Pardon?
She was running to the wagon to
Yeah,
steal food.
sure.
Okay.
So she came in, and we knew that the Germans are looking for the girl. I said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I said, you stay in. I'll find you a shoe. I'll bring a shoe, you'll see. I went out. I don't even know where I don't remember. I found a shoe. It wasn't the same. Also long, she had 2 shoes that was covered, And I gave her the shoe, and she was saved. Because they would kill her that time. Do you think, for a minute, that she remembers that? She doesn't even call me. See? And that was a lot of times that I did such a silly things. I don't want to. They should do for me something or give me something. I do this because I understand I had to do it. Or at least call. Are you alive? It's the same thing once happened. When I worked in the shoemakerei, they knew me, and I had privilege or took a chance to go into the kitchen, get an extra soup, or whatever. So what did you think I did with the extra soup? I looked for people, whatever, for my town. I didn't even knew them. I knew they were from my town. I gave them in the soup through the window. Or if not, when I noticed they unloading vegetables to the kitchen on a truck. So I took my blanket, I covered myself up, and I walked slowly to the kitchen, and all the girls were standing in the block and looking, what is she going to do here? What is she doing? They're going to kill her. I went, and I don't remember how it calls in English. It is like a cantaloupe so big. Mm-hmm. And I took it here under my arm, around. When you take it, you have to be careful because it can slide out and you finish. Or I had a blanket over me that didn't see it, and I hold it tight, and I walked very, very slow. When they came out, they said, "What are you doing here?" So I went to the truck. You know, the back truck has such a flip-flop, you know, to move
A
up.
gate
Yeah, and I tried to help him move this up.
with the
Close
cantaloupe
it.
under your arm.
Yes. So I said, "I'm helping them out." So he says, "Mach das fortkommen. Get away." So I walked very slow to my block. And the girls were scared stiff. When I came in, all of them fell on me. We all fell on the floor because they thought I'm not going to make it. And I did it. And then we had something as a vegetable to eat. Yeah, I took a lot of risk, not for me, for other girls. A lot, a lot.
Well, what happened next?
Next, I worked the shoemaker eye, and then they send us with a train to Auschwitz. I remember the train. It was packed. It was so hot. They gave us in a pail of water, so everybody wanted to drink, you know. And we fought so much over the pail with water that it got more spilled on the floor than we had. And then when we came closer to Auschwitz, we thought there's crazy people running around there, because the girls got shaved their heads, which I had to by that time. A short girl got a long dress. A tall girl got a short dress. And it was just like a jungle, it looked. So we were very scared. And they took us in the barracks, and that's it. And there we were sitting, and I remember our other girls too, they helped carry such a boxes, wooden boxes with ammunition. I remember like in my dream that I used to help carry. And then in 1944, we were liberated. That's it.
Were you in Auschwitz when you were liberated?
Yeah.
They didn't take you on a death march?
No, wait a minute. No, we were liberated. I'm doing the opposite, I guess. We were Auschwitz, and then from Auschwitz, we got to go to Salzwedel. There where we worked ammunition, you know, because we were liberated in Salzwedel, you see. So it was very tough. I remember after the war, we went there. It was from Salzwedel. We traveled not far from there in a little town, Gardelegen.
This was after the war now?
Yeah.
Let me ask you some questions about the ending of the war.
Yeah.
Did you know how the war was progressing for the Germans?
No. We we saw in the evening, we saw lightning, you know, bombing. I mean, or we didn't know much, no. After, it was short before the war was finished, we saw there French soldiers walking around our camp like they were watching us. And so we knew something is going on.
the French soldiers came that close?
Yeah, because the Germans, the American came closer and closer. That's why we saw the shooting in the air, you know. And we knew it, that's maybe it won't take long. See, we were thinking, or nobody told us. We only knew that the French soldiers were watching over us.
But the Germans were still in control.
Yeah, here and there, you know. A lot of them ran away. A lot of them ran away before we got liberated. And there were one German woman, and where I worked, the shoemaker and I, what closer the Germans came, they took some clothes and shoes and everything, loaded and brought it further, you know. So they filled it up, but us there a whole room with good clothes, everything, beautiful knits, beautiful dresses. And when we heard that the Americans are close, I opened the window. I remember like today. And a lot of girls were standing outside. I opened the window and I went to the room of the clothes and I grabbed that, a whole bunch, and throw it out for the girls through the window. And then the same minute came the German officer. She saw, she asked me, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Nothing, I'm straightening out." So she gave me a slap in the face. And when the American came already, she ran away before. And I was looking for her in the whole city where we were, and I couldn't find her.
Did you want to report her?
No, I wanted to hit her. I wanted to beat her up, but I didn't find her. So, by that time when the, excuse me.
Can we stop a second?
Rolling again.
Okay.
What did I talk?
You were talking about liberation. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you were slapped just before you were liberated. Were there other times you were beaten?
No. No, I watched myself. I wasn't too dumb that time. I was younger. I did what I was supposed to do. And no. What did I talk before?
Well, what happened immediately after liberation? Where did you go?
Oh, yeah. We went to this little city, to Gardelegen. And we got there from I guess it was from the DP. The DP's, you know, it was such an organization. And we got some apartments where to stay for a while. And by that time, it was closer. The Russian came from the other side, closer too. So, of course, one Russian got drunk, and he got lost somewhere. And another Russian came to look for him. So while we were there, he thought that he's, you know, young girls, and he thought that maybe he's here. He started looking, went in the room, and he started getting wild. So I was there in the room, my sister was there, and I said, "Sit down." You know, whatever I said in Polish or whatever. I wanted first to quiet them down, you know. And he sat for a little while, and then he went, he saw the soldier is not here. He thought maybe he's playing around with a girl or whatever, You never know. So another girl walked around and said, "Oh, the Russian man wanted to have something to do with Mary's sister. Or he had something." And I heard this because I was in the room. And we were a whole group of girls standing around, and everybody heard that. I said, "Oh my God, she can't do that. She can't say that." I was in. And I called the girl. I said, "Come here." I said, "What did you hear there? What did you see there?" And I pick up my hand and give her right in the face. I said, "You see, if you don't know anything, you don't say it, you don't talk, you shut up." So all the girls, "Why do you say, why did you do that? Why did you hit her?" I said, "She has a comic, she knows why. Because she didn't see anything, she didn't hear anything." And by that time, we weren't for a long time there, a few days only, and everybody went home to Poland on the train. So we went to Lodz. I was there. We had one room, 3 or 4 girls, and nobody from the girls had a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Only me, what I could sew. So I walked out and started looking for a job.
In Lodz.
So, in Lodz, yeah. So I came into a tailor, and I worked a little, and so I didn't make it much, so we ate. One day, if we cook a soup, we couldn't have bread. If we bought the bread, we couldn't have a soup, because we were a few girls, So, by that time, I met my husband at this tailor.
Was he the tailor?
Yeah, he was a tailor, yeah. And I didn't work, but he was there visiting, yeah. So, and we started going out, and not long later, it didn't take long, we got married. That's it.
This was 1946.
Yeah.
And then did you take an apartment together?
Yes, of course, sure.
Did you decide, the two of you, to settle in Lodz?
No, we were there 3 months. That's it. Because we lived there, and there were a lot of Russians there, and we weren't safe with the Russians. And I didn't want to stay there. I had nobody to look forward, So we left back to Germany. Germany, in Lodz, we bought a passport to Germany. Of course, you have to say it that you're German born if you want to go. Because by that time was no visits, So I said, good. We paid $1,000, 1,000 zlotys that time, and we bought those passports. And I was speaking perfect German. It says there that I'm born German. I worked in Germany. So I had to be sure of myself, Or my husband had a terrible accent. They would recognize him right away that he is a fraud. So I said to my husband, I said, "Look, Morris, if they ask you something, don't answer right away. I'm going to talk to them. And I'm going to tell them that you were beaten in the head, you don't understand, and you can't talk very well. And maybe this will work." As a matter of fact, That's what did work. They didn't ask him anything. And I said that, and they let us through. Because my accent was perfect.
Where did you settle in Germany?
The first thing we went to Berlin. Then we went to Lampetheim. And in Lampetheim we stayed there. And we went to Frankfurt am Main. From Frankfurt am Main, we started applying to go to America. We heard that we can do it. And then we heard that the union from Canada is trying to take over tailors. So we applied to the union. And as a matter of fact, we came to Canada.
What year?
In 1948. I gave it, that's what I meant. I gave it the wrong amount, the date.
Okay.
And we came, and the Jewish organizations gave us right away an apartment. We stayed with very nice people.
What city did you come to?
Winnipeg. And we stayed with very nice people. They hold me, and if they talked about me, they used to say, "Oh, our Mary." Or they had a party or in a holiday, we had to be together with them, the whole family by the table. We were very loved in there. And we started looking for jobs. We got jobs in the factories. So I didn't have any money. The union showed me, on Friday we went to look where we're going to work on Monday. So I took from the boss before $10. My husband took $15 because he worked in another place. And I had money, $25, to go shopping. And every week they took it off, $2 a week. So, and that's the way it went. And we associate with people, and then we moved out from those people. We rent another apartment. And we were there about from 48 till about 64, I guess.
So your children were all born in Canada?
Yeah, Canadian, yeah. And then we applied to go to America because I had my whole family here. So we came to America and we settled down.
Who was here from your family?
My brother was here already.
Max?
Yeah. I had an aunt with her kids. I had cousins. So I wanted to be with the family together.
How did you decide to come to Los Angeles?
To Los Angeles, we lived in Buffalo, New York, and it was very cold in there. And my husband couldn't take it, the cold weather.
So you went from Winnipeg to Buffalo?
Yeah. And he couldn't take the cold weather. So that's why we came here and settled down here.
Where was your family?
What do you mean, my kids?
Your brother and
my
your
brother was left in Buffalo. I only came with my kids and my husband.
And when were your children born?
In Canada.
I mean, who was born in what year?
Aron was born in November 14, 1949. Ronnie was born 8th of January 53. Ida was born the 6th of October 1956. That's all.
And then in Los Angeles, you came from Buffalo. How did you get established here?
We went to work. Sure.
What did you do?
I went to the factory to work. My husband worked.
As a seamstress or as a tailor, or did you find new jobs?
No, as a sewing. Sure. And then after a year, we bought a store. We rent a store on Pico Boulevard. And we both work together. Can you do me a favor? I have in the bedroom on the side of the chair is my purse. I need a medicine.
Okay. Why don't we stop a second?
This cough, I have to thank the Germans.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, you have 3 children who also now live in the United States? They stayed all?
Yeah.
Where do they live and what do they do?
My oldest son lives in New York. I can't tell you what he does. He was in an accident, and it's. I want to talk about it. My other son lives in San Diego. He is manager by cars, selling. And my daughter is a housewife, has 2 children. Sometimes she works, yeah.
And the family that you had come here with, Max and your sister Bronya, where do they live?
Bronya left from Germany straight to Israel.
Hmm.
So in 1945. My brother went to the United States because we had an aunt and she took him over. She made papers for him.
And the aunt that lived here,
Yeah, she's dead.
she passed away.
Yeah, she lived in Buffalo.
Was she the same one that acted in the Yiddish theater?
No.
Bella one?
No. This in Yiddish theater, she was the youngest, and she left to Israel in 1929 because she got involved with friends. She became a communist. She was in jail.
In Israel or in
No, Poland.
Poland? Oh.
Because she was a communist. They catched her. I remember that very well. They catched the police, and they took her for 2.5 years in jail.
Wow.
Yeah. And she left in 1929. Since then, she is in a kibbutz, Beersheba. She's a very intelligent woman. And with her husband. Her husband used to play on stage too.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope if I go next year, maybe I'll still see him. I would love to. Oh, would I love to.
If you wanted to leave your grandchildren with any message, what would it be?
To my grandchildren, first of all, I hope they'll be healthy. Then, I hope and pray they should grow up to be successful, grow up to respect the parents, and in the family, in everybody. So long an older person needs help, help him and respect him. Because I used to be that way. I still am. And that would give me the biggest pleasure if I can hear that you're growing up normal and good people. And don't forget that you're Jewish. I have to tell you a story.
What?
I remember when my kids were small, they were sitting and watching television. And I was busy in the kitchen, the sink, whatever. And I heard something. Something happened on the television. So I asked, who was it? Who was it? To the kids. And they knew to say, Mother, he wasn't Jewish. You know what that means? If he wasn't Jewish, shouldn't bother you. That's it, let it go. That's why I say, first, be a Jew. Like I am a Jewish, a Yiddish anti-Semite. What can I say? I'm not religious so much. Or I'm, first comes by me a Jew.
Even though you suffered so much for
That
being
has
Jewish?
nothing to do. That the one thing with the other has nothing to do. If I could make it, I suffered because I'm a Jew. I should be more proud, shouldn't I? I made it. Of course, I would love some more people should make. They could make it, my family. Because I'm very family conscious. And I miss it very much. Or, no, that doesn't hold me back. No. Other things bother me too. Or first, if something happens to a Jew, I'm more upset. So what else you want to know?
Well, is there anything that you'd like to speak about that I haven't asked?
About what?
Anything that I haven't asked you about that you'd like to mention?
I don't know what. I never talked so much in my life.
Now, I did want to follow up with one question. In 1946, when you went back to Lodz and you'd met your husband, around that time, did you go back to your town to see what was left, to see if there were any family?
No. No.
How did you find out that your parents weren't going to come home?
How did I find out? Because we never heard. We knew it. I knew it. That's where my mother went. That's that. They went, I guess, to Birkenau, if I'm not wrong, with the trains. My father, they took away in Auschwitz. I didn't even see him taken away. I didn't know that's my brothers live. That my sister, I was together. Or I didn't know that's my brother. One brother is dead.
Herschel?
Yeah.
Was he?
The other, he was in the war. He was together with my boyfriend in the war. And my sister was together with me. My brother, I knew it, that he is alive because he was straight from the war. After the war, he went to Paris. He saw me there on the list. That I'm alive. I don't know where and how. He gone crazy. He gone wild. And then he started looking for me. So we found each other.
In Poland, did you find each other?
No, Germany. He wasn't in Poland. No. Instead Poland, he went to France because we had their relatives. So he stayed with them. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with
Very
us
welcome.
today. And I understand there's some pictures that we have to look at,
Yeah, there.
so we'll look at those next. Thank you.
I'm in this picture with my parents and my brother,
Which brother?
Herschel.
And you're sitting on the stool?
I'm sitting on the stool, yeah. I was born that time in 1921 or 22. I don't remember.
Do you remember where it was taken?
No, of course not. This is a sport club, what I belonged in the Polizeian that was taken in 1933 in Vienna, and I'm the third one in the second row from the left.
And that was taken in Poland?
In Poland,
You came
yeah,
from Poland.
yeah. That's my brother Max Paul. And this picture, I don't know when he took it, which year or whatever. I know this is the uniform from the concentration camp. And when I was, a few weeks ago, he gave me this picture, so that's what I have it. This picture is me and my husband taking in Canada. And the year could be 1954 or something like that.
Okay.
This is me and my husband Morris. Is taken in this apartment. That could be in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, California?
Yeah. Los Angeles, California in 1985 or 82, something like that.
Now, your husband's name was Morris K.
Yeah,
What was it originally?
a long Polish name, Krzeszkowski.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, Krzazkowski.
When did he shorten it?
In Canada, still maybe about 1950, 59, 51, something like that. That's my son, Ronnie. He lives in San Diego. He was, shall I give the birth?
Sure.
He was born the 8th of January, 1953. His wife, Lulu, I cannot tell you her birthday because they married about 4 years and then we never talked about it.
And when was this picture taken?
When they got married, I guess, yeah.
That would be 1991?
Something like that, yeah, 1991. This is Christy. That's the daughter of my sons, Ronnie and Lulu. She lives in San Diego. She was born October 1991.
Do you know when this was taken?
No, I don't. Isn't it there on the other side, the date? No.
I don't know.
That's my son, Aron. He was born 1948, the 14th of November. And this was taken 13 years later is November. Well, he was 13 years old here.
And he was born in 47?
48.
48, so this was 61?
Yeah, yeah.
1961.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Where was this taken?
This was in Winnipeg.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. This is Rachel, the daughter of my oldest son, Aron. This picture was taken in New York, and when she was 12, and now she's 13.
So it would be 1994?
Yeah. That's my daughter, Ida, and her husband when they were married. I don't remember. They got married in Los Angeles in 1970, in October.
What's your son-in-law's name?
Oh, Kenneth Rabner, and my dad. That's my two grandchildren, Stephanie and Daniel, kids of Ida and Kenneth.
Stephanie's on the right.
Yeah.
It's hard to see in the hat.
Daniel, yeah, they both look, yeah. Daniel is older. He was born in November 18th, and Stephanie was born in October 15th, in 1984 and 85.
And when was this taken?
This somewhere in a park.
No, when?
When were they playing baseball and football? That must be a couple months.
What year?
1995.
Thank you.